Hi, this is Jack Banks, and I want to welcome you to this summer term version of AUCC210, Cultures and Transnational Corporations. In this first screencast, I want to spend some time talking about how the course is laid out and explaining the course syllabus, and also going into how the course is organized on Blackboard. So I'll tell you what, let's just get right to it and take a look at the core syllabus. So when you're on the front page for the Blackboard site, just go down to the button titled Core Syllabus and click on that. And then click on the summer term syllabus. And that will open up the syllabus for you. So as you can see by all of the corporate logos here, the course is really about a lot of these large international corporations that are involved in media, like Comcast, Walt Disney, News Corp, Universal, and so on, and YouTube. So what we're going to be doing in this course is examining the role of these large companies like Time Warner and Disney and other transnational corporations like McDonald's, and examine how these corporations have influenced our society, culture, economy, and way of life of people around the world. When you think of your own life, it's certain that your own life has been touched by some of these large corporations in terms of thinking about, where you eat, what TV shows or films you watch, what music you listen to. You may actually work for one of these large corporations or aspire to work for them in a career in the future. So this class is focused on examining these large transnational corporations and the way in which they influence our culture and society, both here in the U.S., but also in other countries around the world. We'll examine some of the major trends in the development of these large corporations, such as commercialization, where we see media being more and more focused around promotion, marketing, advertising. We'll also explore the trend towards ownership concentration in media and popular culture, where these larger corporations are owning more and more of our media today. We'll examine that trend towards concentration, the growth of oligopolies and monopolies, and examine what are some of the social consequences of that. Is it a good thing when, for instance, a company like Google or Microsoft has such a pronounced role in the online world? One major trend related to these transnational corporations that we'll be examining is what's called globalization, all right? How increasingly the world is relying on similar forms of media. And these corporations like Time Warner and Disney are trying to develop global markets for their media products like TV shows, films, music, and so on. What we're going to explore in this class is a big question about globalization of media and culture and the role of these transnational media conglomerates. And one of the big questions is, are we seeing the emergence of a global culture in popular music, TV, and film? And what does that look like? Are we seeing a global culture that has greater homogeneity where everybody is around the world is listening to the same music, watching the same TV shows. We're all going to eat at McDonald's. Is that what's happening? This growing sameness, or in a global culture, are we seeing more diversity, more eclectic variety in terms of music around the world? There's also a question about how global media is affecting international relationships. When we have an interconnected global internet, or CNN that is seen around the world, does this global media lead to greater harmony and greater peace and understanding among people of other countries? Or does it do the reverse? Does this emerging global culture encourage more mistrust, more aggression, more warfare? All right. There's also an interesting question about when we're looking at the development of global media, what's the relationship between Western countries like the US and developing countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America that used to be called the Third World? Some critics argue that the flow of information and culture between the West and developing countries is very unbalanced, all right, where most news and information originates in Western Europe and the US, and developing countries are often just the passive receivers of all of this forms of culture. Now, some argue that that's changing, some challenge this very idea of an unbalanced flow, but we're going to get at that question. Now, since we're talking about transnational corporations, we can't simply confine our discussion to culture and media, but we have to look at economics and the growth of a global economy. All right, so towards the end of the class, we're going to move away from talking about popular culture and instead look at the development of a global economy, the development of an international economic structure that transcends national or regional economies. And we're going to examine how events over the past several years have affected this global economy, like the Occupy Wall Street movement or the September 11th attacks, the U.S. military intervention in Iraq and Afghanistan, the Arab Spring that some commentators argue was prompted in part by the use of Twitter and Facebook in a number of Arab countries. We'll also examine some of the movements and protests against international organizations like the World Bank and the WTO. Throughout the course, we're not just going to describe these trends, although that's a big part of it, but we're also going to evaluate what's been happening. In essence, we're going to talk about whether or not Time Warner, Disney, News Corp that owns the Fox TV channel and Fox News, are they providing people around the world with high quality entertainment, really comprehensive, thoughtful news and analysis, or do we see problems with the kinds of media content that we're getting today? And are these transnational corporations, and is this move towards a global economy and global culture, is that enhancing the things that we value, like democracy, freedom, fairness? Now, this is a strictly online class, and I know that's one of the reasons you're taking the class. Just to let you know that we're not going to have any in-person classes, and you're not required to be available to be online at any specific time. Like you don't have to be at your computer Wednesday at 3:30. All right. Instead, you'll have a certain amount of flexibility to complete assignments over a period of time. But you are going to have three main responsibilities. You're going to be required to read articles from the assigned textbook and other readings that are available on Blackboard. You're going to be watching a number of online documentaries about media, culture, and a global economy. And you're going to be writing posts on course discussion boards and blogs about these course readings and documentaries and videos that you're going to be watching. Because this is an online class and a very condensed class for 6 weeks, it's really important that you stay up to date with assignments. Don't fall behind. Try to complete your posts and assignments by the date that they're due. There's also going to be 2 exams in an essay format that'll evaluate your understandings of the readings and documentaries that we're going to be watching throughout the course. All right, I'm going to continue this in a second screencast.